Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running frantically, running from their fears, running with their tears.
And we're here, guys.
Perfectly, but
Oh well. Oh well.
Oh, what's up?
Uh,
Oh, so
I made
yeah.
it this week.
Yes, we made it. We made it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so chaotic. Last week, I was on. The week before that was No Kings. What did you think about the No Kings? Do they have any of that in France or no? Just, I mean, I don't know. You guys are always protesting about something, so it's like,
They literally chopped off the king's heads. So
I literally,
no kings is kind of like,
right.
it's. I would say it's a little safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the general sense, and I understand why it was done. And I know I got some pushback on one of my on my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I had said to my friends, because some people were saying, historically, they were saying, yeah, the founding fathers were against no kings and the traditional mythology behind it. But let's
Mm-hmm.
be real, the
Mm-hmm.
people who actually funded the American War of Independence were both the king in France and in Spain.
Right.
So it's this idea of no kings from that perspective. Historically, no. I mean,
Right.
technically today, is he acting like a king? Yeah. But
Trying
it's
to.
more like oligarchs.
Yeah.
And I think we're afraid of saying that word. And I don't know. We'll see. I mean, 7 million people showed up and everything. But what is the main goal of this?
Right. And I listen to a lot of political radio, and they say the same thing. I've given up hope on the Democratic Party
Yeah,
personally. I honestly believe that you're never going to have a free election until every vote is counted. When you get rid of this whole stupid system that we have, and
mhm.
and if you have a new political party that with energized with the younger voters.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party is the Republican Party, or to me, and I've been saying this for over 20 years, it's the same
Mhm.
party,
I was going to say, you never really were too keen on them. So,
Yeah, it's like, and I've been in both parties, so it's not like I'm just like a Democrat saying this. I was a Republican first. I came from
mm,
a Republican family, and I don't
right.
see the difference now. I mean, before there was a wider difference, and people get mad when they hear me say this or other people like me say this. But 16 million Americans voted for the Green Party, knowing that they weren't going to win.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not alone.
Yeah.
16 million.
Traditionally, parties have come and gone, and
Mhm.
traditionally, parties have changed um, hands. I mean, the Democratic Party of today is not the Democratic Party of the early 20th century either. I
Right.
mean, it was literally the Dixiecrats and the
Mhm.
plantation owners and all that, right? So
Yeah.
things
The
have
Plymouth Club.
changed. So
Mhm.
I'm totally with you. I grew up more in a Democratic family.
Mhm.
Um, no, I never even thought twice about the Republican Party.
Mhm.
But um, yeah, I hear you. I hear you, and I can understand people's frustrations with it. They're not really. If they really wanted to win, they should have decided it not 3 or 4 months before the election, like
Right.
they did. They should have chose Kamala, or have given the Democratic voters the chance to vote for someone a year and a half before.
Right. Like
So
both parties, or actually the Republicans had their their primary, but the Democrats had no primary. It's like what?
right, and they sabotaged themselves
Yeah.
because Trump really used that as one of his many points of saying, "See, they're not fair. They're not, whatever Democrat," as if he is, you
Right.
know.
Right.
But yeah, we do need something new. I think the idea of reforming stuff isn't going to work anymore.
No.
And that's scary because I think that as a society, for example, No Kings, I can tie it back to the No Kings.
Mhm.
No Kings was coined by a man by the name of Thomas Paine.
Mhm.
Thomas Paine by all intents and purposes today would be considered extreme far left,
Right.
right? Back then.
Right.
The founders didn't really like his message,
Right.
but they knew it would get a lot of people to back them.
Right. Right.
And then, so they bring him. Common sense becomes very popular amongst all these people. And then later, when they don't like him anymore, they just sort of tuck him away. And then when they need him, because how can I put it? I guess you could say people weren't feeling the revolution anymore. They're like, okay, we got to bring him back again. So they brought him back again to get the spirits on high.
Right.
But really, the scary thing is, I think, for most of us, is we have been trained to be reformers. And if you have something that somewhat works, you can reform it. But when you have something that can't work, then you need something else. And I don't think most of us are comfortable with the something else, which means disruptive change.
Absolutely.
And that's, and that's something that we've been trained. And it's funny because Thomas Paine was cool with that.
Right.
He had an adversary in England by the name of Edmund Burke, who really criticized the French Revolution. And in many ways, many English speakers still follow his tradition of, no, things will work out little by little. That reformist attitude. And it's very deeply entrenched in English-speaking culture. Not just in England, but you see it in America. And instead of the Thomas Paine tradition. So it's kind of funny seeing the No Kings with this sort of spirit of Edmund Burke, which is like, yeah, well, radical change is terrible. Look at the French Revolution and all the blood that brought with it.
Right.
And it's like, well, sometimes things just come to a head and don't work anymore.
Right. And it's a new century. So
it is a new century, absolutely.
And we're 25 years in, and every beginning of the century is always major wars and radical change.
And unfortunately, really, it's just for the bankers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, it's almost like a fiscal policy. Oh man, we really screwed ourselves.
Yeah.
How do we manage to keep this empire of paper running?
Right.
Yeah, I think we need a war.
Right. And now they want to go digital, and it's
with what grid?
Right, exactly.
With what grid? What energy? We're being cut off from rare earths. Most of the people that run our societies. I know this is going to sound completely absurd to many who listen to this, but I'll say this right now.
Right.
Artists, very similar to engineers, know several different things. Time to make something, how long it takes you to make something, the materials involved, right? And the process and skill that goes into that. It's pretty much the same thing for engineers too. All right, so we're going to build X space rocket, right? So what are the materials that we need? We got to get those. How much time is it going to freaking take us to make it? And what is the end result and the skill required for that? But the people running our societies are lawyers. Lawyers come up with excuses, not results.
Right.
Bankers live in abstract math land. Oh, wow, look, another zero at the end of my bank account. Are you ever going to see it? Nah, I'm never going to see it. But it feels good knowing I got that extra zero.
Right.
Right. So we're in that.
And people are kind of brainwashed in that thought process as well. They've bought into that individualism rather than community.
Right. Because it takes a whole team of people to make all this work, and then you add to it not understanding process, how things are made.
Right.
I'm sure that you do that. I know I do this all the time. If I see something, whether it's a piece of art, sculpture, whatever it might be, I always think, wow, I wonder what it took to make that.
Right. Yeah, the curiosity,
curiosity of understanding process.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to rant anymore.
It's funny. I teach my students about that, the process versus the process versus the progress, and what's the difference between those two things, and I think politically we have to look at it too, because there's a process in politics, and then there's the progress in politics, and it looks like we have a lot of process and not a lot of progress.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like
And all for profit.
and
Really, in the
profit.
end, it's
Yeah.
a profit for a few people.
Yeah.
Um, take all this. Most businesses, I bet you, most of their expenses aren't even their employees. It's their rent.
Mm.
So, like your storefront, whatever
Mhm.
you have to do to pay for, the place where you have your actual physical business. I bet you that most of the money goes just to that.
Yep. Yep.
You
Exactly.
know?
Have you heard about this? This is interesting. I'm going to share my screen here. Um, we have coordinated to economic blackout set for November 25th to December 2nd. Shutting it down.
Yeah, I've heard some
Yeah.
stuff in passing about it, which I
Yeah.
think is more effective.
Yeah. I think this is the only way to
Mhm.
really. I mean, I get dancing in costumes and protests and stuff like that. It's humorous. I mean,
Yeah.
John Lennon talked about, attacking them with humor, but I think this makes a lot more sense because it's more immediate. Because if I mean, Amazon will feel it, all these companies will feel it. If people are legitimately committed to actually doing it, it can actually
Yeah.
work. And that's the thing, getting people out of the head of, oh, I need to shop or buy something today. It's like,
Yeah. No, I agree. It takes the
no,
oxygen out of the system.
right. And December 2nd, I think that's a little too short. I think they should have done it till New Year's Day because
Yeah.
then they would really feel it. No Christmas
Yeah.
sales, no Black Friday sales, no New Year's parties, no, so
Yep.
and honestly, the reason why we lose every war is because Americans are too caught up in their creature comforts, even in Vietnam. Why are we fighting in Vietnam? Because at the end of the day, we don't live in Vietnam, right? So
Mhm.
that's why we lost that war. Because
Well,
everybody's like, I want my fucking car, I want my girlfriend, I want my American way of life. I don't want to be here, and Afghanistan, same thing. We've got no dog in that fight, really. Americans
right.
go to war, Afghanistan, Iraq. I mean, you can send them anywhere in the world. South America, there's no intrinsic motivation to say, yeah, we're taking this over and we're going to stay here. That's not.
Well, invaders never really had the home advantage.
Never.
Like, I don't know if you saw the documentary The Fog of War
Oh yeah,
with McNamara,
yeah.
and when his counterpart asked him,
It's frightening.
"So what made you think to McNamara? What made you think that you could come here and defeat us?" Well, we were looking at the numbers and the numbers. He's like, "Wait a second, you didn't study any of our history?
Right.
You didn't know that we fought for like centuries against the Chinese?"
Right. Right.
And the reality is that you can only go someplace and do so much. And really, at that point, you're talking about colonization.
Right.
And the reality is, I would say, there's the one side of colonization, which I'm not down with. So I'm
Mhm.
glad that we don't want to stay there for too long. But
Mhm.
two, the reality is, why are we going to those places?
Right.
We're going to those places for money, not for us,
Right.
but money. So someone does win that war.
Right. Resources. That's what it's all
Who
about.
wins it is all the major corporations,
Yeah.
corporations who are funding all these things that get blown up. So new things have to be made to
Yeah.
blow up later on.
Yep.
So there's a
Exactly.
win. It isn't the win that we want, which was militarily speaking.
Right. Right.
So I
It's
mean,
it's financial. It's a financial
yeah, it goes back to the finance guys, the abstract dudes.
heroin. I mean, look at this whole thing with this company that had to pay out all this money. Was it $60 million or something like that, or something more than that for that
Mm.
the whole fentanyl and OxyContin.
Oh,
And,
didn't they? Some of the family members take off too. They're like some big family.
yeah, I mean, they should have
Yeah,
all been in jail, but that was all from Afghanistan and our Northern Alliance of collecting, taking over
poppy
the poppy
seeds.
fields. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
funny because now we're looking at South America,
right. And Venezuela,
Venezuela.
like
Yeah, And
There's nothing there for us except for resources. It's basically a war of resources, and they're
always
trying to
has been.
make it as something else. And it's like this: we never had major drug coming into Venezuela. They always blame China for fentanyl and Mexico, and it's like, give me a break. It's made here. It's like a lot
Yeah,
of it came
yeah,
from Afghanistan and other places that Colombia, our northern alliance.
Mhm.
And I remember that Colombia was in control of that in Afghanistan as well. They had a big chunk to do with that as well. So
Yeah.
I find that people are so easily duped because they don't read.
I think, yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot of it has to do. We think we finish our schooling and we think it's over.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned everything I need to learn. Now I'm just going to basically hit cruise control, find a job, and just cruise on through life. Um,
Yeah.
the one takeaway from 9/11, it really hit me, was you can't do that because you never know when something major is going to hit you,
Right.
and
So as allies.
you got to be aware of everything that's going on, right?
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
we're like the mice in the labyrinth while we're being tested by
Hmm.
who knows what. The people who have all these crazy Wile E. Coyote plans,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
then
you
we
had
all suffer.
ICE in the military arresting trick or treaters the other day. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
They kind of were pushing people from street to street, closing off streets, and then they funneled them all in the park. And like, oh, they're all hanging out in the park. It's like, well, you kind of led them. Talk about rats in a maze.
wow.
They literally cordoned off all these streets where they were forced to focus them, and all these teenagers were being assaulted by the military. It's like, well, where did you want them to go? It's like they try to make it seem like it's a riot or something. No, they're just kind of hanging out. People don't understand teenagers today. It's not like teenagers when we were teenagers. We were animals. These kids are
Yeah,
it's
kids are
very different. They're very passive. You know.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a good thing either.
No, it's not. But it's just. But they try to frame it like, oh, these kids are like out of control, and this. And I was like, no, you got a bunch of dudes with guns chasing them. What would you do?
Well, it's like,
If that was our generation, we would have been fighting them.
yeah,
We wouldn't be running. We'd be fighting them. We'd
we,
jump them. It's like,
and then they'd use the excuse that we were being violent.
right. But we would kick their asses. They wouldn't even have a chance to say
Yeah,
that. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
we'd make sure that we'd win. Like, you're in our neighborhood. No, you're not leaving.
I'm sure, especially Halloween. Now that you think of it, putting my old teenage self back into my brain, I'm sure some of us would have dressed up like ICE
Yeah, exactly.
and caused some shit.
It goes,
They would have been like, "Who's who?" Like that
right,
Spider-Man meme, right?
right.
It's him.
I,
No, it's him.
I said that to my students as a joke. I was like, what's the scariest Halloween costume this year? And they were like, I don't know. They're like, they couldn't think of one.
Yeah.
And this is the problem, that there's no creativity. Like, they couldn't even elicit one. Like, they're like, and I was like, a nice uniform. Of course, that's the scariest one. They were like,
Oh man.
that's messed up. That's not funny. It's like, but it is terrifying, isn't it?
It is terrifying. It is.
It's like,
Um,
that's the difference of this generation, is that it's like
controlled.
they're totally controlled by they live on their phones. Like, you cannot, like, they freak out, like, I teach a computer course. They have to turn in their computer laptops for the keyboards and mouse so they don't get stolen, right? It's like, and most likely they wouldn't steal it, but that's not a major issue. But it's just protocol. Like, hey, I'm not giving you something for nothing. It's like, because they will damage it. They will tear the keys off of you. Don't put guardrails in place. That's just, the kids.
Yeah. Well, can't say that we would be any better.
Oh no, we were worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember being in a typewriter class, and every time I got there, I already knew how to go into the typewriter, unplug it so it doesn't work. I'm like, this is still broken. You can't do anything. Then I'd leave and plug it back in.
Wow.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I have to say, there are some differences because my kids are teens here. Yeah, they're very much stuck on their phones. But when it comes to protesting, the very interesting thing here is organization. I think
Mhm,
they got us beat on organization,
mhm,
organization and goals. So
mhm.
union, don't quote me on this, but union participation here is like extremely high.
Right, right.
It's I'm going to say 60%. That's very conservative, might be more. But the student bodies
Mhm.
work with the unions.
Wow.
So when something like the pension reform hits, you're
Right.
going to get students. Yeah, it's going to be massive. And it can get violent. I mean,
Mhm.
I've experienced some of the yellow vest protests, uh,
That's
tear
awesome.
gas and all.
That's awesome.
um, and they were very stubborn, man. If it wasn't for COVID, they'd still be out there every weekend. Like
Wow.
for a year and a half, they were out there every weekend protesting.
Wow.
And some of the exchanges they would have with the cops,
Right.
they show up with fireworks.
Right.
If the cops get, it's usually the cops start the stuff, they finish it. And it's not unusual to see video footage of the cops being chased by protesters because
Right.
they're like
Exactly.
overwhelmed. There's also cases, but the cops also do things like they killed one of the towns here in France. They killed someone. It was an old lady. She just opened up her window and she got a canister in her head. They shot it.
Gosh.
Yeah, it killed her. That caused hell. But sometimes
Jeez.
the protesters will give it back to them by popping out the cobblestone
Oh, yeah, and then they
and
throwing it
tossing
back.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep. They were doing that during the.
not that I'm recommending any violence, but I'm just saying,
They
at
were doing
least
that
on the
to the
organization.
BLM riots and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. I find it interesting how the media like frames things like, oh, they're attacking the police. It's like, well, they're tear gassing people and
Yeah.
they're violating their rights to protest, which is the
Right.
First Amendment. It's not like the 20th Amendment. It's the first. It's
I know. I know. Well,
it's not like getting lost in anything. It's like, oh, I forgot. No, it's the first. It's like the very first. It's like, it's like the beginning.
well, the scary thing is you could see this coming with the Patriot Act,
Yeah. Yeah.
and no one rolled back the Patriot Act. And I know right now a lot of people are saying that Trump is acting like a king,
Hmm.
but Dick Cheney was pushing for the imperial presidency,
Hmm. I do recall that. Yeah.
and no one put any guardrails on that sucker.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we got this guy.
Yeah.
So,
I think they're pushing the agenda. It's like George Bush was doing the same thing. I remember Junior, he was saying,
yep,
it'd be so much easier to run this country if it was a dictatorship. And then laughing
yeah,
about it. It's like, if
yep,
he's saying that out loud,
yeah.
everybody that works there, they're all feeling the same way
Oh, they've wanted to run it like that.
forever.
In many cases, many of us, 'cause I cause shit on my Facebook, and I do it on purpose just to prod people.
Right, right,
That's
right.
just how I am.
I mean, what do you think? I mean,
And I
what do you think about that Reagan commercial? That pissed off Trump.
Reagan, that communist, that commie, that pinko.
Right.
Oh, that was. I have to say that was pretty clever of Canada to pull that off.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, they're on point. Like, it hit every marker, every
Hmm.
single thing. It's just like,
But that's how far gone we are as a country.
yeah.
Because, and this is a sad fact. The next person that gets in, if they're a Democrat,
Hmm.
do we really think they're going to roll any of that stuff back?
No,
No,
they're gonna leave it exactly the same way.
exactly,
I
exactly.
mean, technically, we never really got rid of the Patriot Act. They never repealed that.
Nope.
That's still in effect.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
And with this government shutdown, and what is it, like 41 million people are being cut off of SNAP?
Yeah, yeah. So
That's.
starvation in America, you know.
Did you see his Halloween party?
No, I did not. Trump
He had
had
a
a
Great
Halloween party.
Gatsby theme Halloween party. The
Oh
night
God.
before they're gonna cut off people, man. Like that's not even like Marie Antoinette shit. That's like some other level.
All right, right. Trump's.
You
I
know?
gotta look this up. Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
was. I
like
was
Great
determined.
Gatsby
I was
stuff.
determined.
Of course, they were all at least 18 plus. You
Oh
know,
my God. Oh
yeah,
yeah. See this here. Let's share this thing.
crazy.
That's so crazy. Let me see if we
We're
can share.
totally in the 1920s again.
Hey, well, we know what happened after. Didn't last that long.
Well, we have a 100-year anniversary coming
Yeah.
of the stock market crash. We gotta date. We gotta meet it, right?
Right. It's all. It's. It's just like wow. Yeah.
Or you,
It's
you'll, you'll,
everything
you,
repeats itself. It's almost like why are we even stressing it? Oh, that's not it.
I
That's
think it's
weird.
because there's always a Yahoo that says this time it will be different.
Right. 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 And it's
This time we're gonna do it differently. Don't worry, we can achieve this.
hey, they look so happy here. Can I see it? Let's see. Oh, oh, let me do it again. Sorry. I'm still I've only used this for 3 years. It's like still haven't figured it out. There we go. We got the little Great Gatsby. Yeah, I see that. Look at him like
You had the dances.
yeah, somebody's in a state prison uniform. Who's that? Oh my God.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious. At least he's putting it out there, you know, like, yeah, we're going to jail. If they're lucky. This is
I think
ABC.
they want to put Obama and Hillary in jail.
Yeah, that's well wishing.
They're nuts.
I did see that this one where he was like taking away the candy from the kid, like he didn't want to give the candy away, he kept walking away. Like I think he wanted to keep it for himself, you know. It's like New York Times crap. Yeah, it was like,
Oh well,
yeah.
the scary part is we'll probably get somebody who down the road where we're
Yeah.
like, yeah, remember when we had Trump and he was better?
Well, it did happen with George Bush Jr., right? I mean,
Exactly.
it did
Yeah.
happen. You know, it's like,
I'm
like
waiting for him to do the dance with Ellen
yeah.
doing his
Well, Ellen
he was
DeGeneres and Donald Trump are relatives. A lot of people don't know that.
who?
Ellen DeGeneres, Hillary Clinton, Madonna, and Donald Trump are all related.
They keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yikes.
They're all related, you know. Yeah. I mean, the nepotism is real. You know,
Yeah, that's
the whole thing about discovering people, it's kind of a myth. It's an American myth,
we love our myths, man.
you know.
We love our myths.
Everybody came from somewhere. The only
Like
ones that were the real discovered people were the ones that were disposable, like Marilyn Monroe, you know, like she was an orphan. You know?
Yep.
So those are the only real ones that they get rid of. That everyone has some sort of royal bloodline or something like that. Even Brad Pitt, you know, like Angela Jolie. A lot of these people have bloodlines going back to like, you know, royal families in Europe. You know?
I guess that's how they well, I mean, that's how they hire each other.
Yeah.
The sad part is that it could change if we accepted that was the reality. That
Right.
we live in a nepotistic society.
Mhm.
Although I'd be afraid that some of us would be very apathetic and go, "Oh well."
I think if people saw it more, they'd be a little bit more frustrated because they were born into believing this thing about I could be rich one day or I can be, you know, the American dream that
That's
anyone
true.
can attain it. And people would be like, it's a lie. You know, it's because clearly the people on top, our entertainment, every aspect of our lives is being controlled by these families, you know?
Yep.
We're
Well, there was an
entertained by
article. I
them.
don't know if
We're depending on their banks, you know. You know, I think
Yep.
people would wake up a little bit more, and maybe the, you know, our kids' generation's the one to do that. You know, maybe they're going to be in their 20s and 30s. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we're not. It's like,
Yeah.
I got some teachers that are in their like late 20s and early 30s, and they're like not having it. They're like, I'm not working till I'm 65. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? I don't know, but I ain't doing this. It's like, so
Well,
they don't have the organization, like you said, but they already have the resistance is there. Like, well, no, we're not like you. We're not going to work till we're in our 60s, you know?
it takes them figuring out, hey, man, you too, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Fred? Me too. All
Mhm.
right. What are we going to do about it?
But
Operative word, we.
yeah. And then we're going to be the enemy at some point when they're in their 40s and 50s and we're retired, and they're going to be like, we're going to cut you off. Why should we pay for your retirement? No one's paying for ours, even though we worked and put into it, you know?
Right. Well, I
And that's
hope it's
already
like,
happening. You got Ben Shapiro, you know, doing that, like
yeah,
making these
I hope
talking
not,
points.
because that means they didn't learn the lesson.
Yeah. Well, again, we live in a narcissistic, selfish
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
Everyone's selfieing, you know.
And it is
Everyone's.
funny that it is our society that gave birth to the selfie.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, like, I don't know about you. I I don't like taking selfies. I don't like taking pictures of myself,
Mm-hmm.
period. Like, I'm just like that. I won't rewatch myself. Right. So the younger generation's like, posing and doing everything else. And I don't know if that's a generational thing because I don't know how you feel about it.
No, I think. Well, we didn't call it a selfie, but for me, it was always a challenge to take a picture when it's only two people, you and your friend, and you're like, let's try to get a picture with this camera. I got to look through the reflection of this little lens, and like look at the curve, and there's nothing,
Right.
or look at the reflection from the window box. So there is no screen, right? So it's
Right.
like,
Right.
so I mean, taking selfies, it wasn't a thing. I mean, I think in total, my entire youth from childhood to age 22, I probably have 20 pictures, 30
Wow.
pictures, not that many, you know.
Yeah.
Only like my like baby pictures that I didn't take. Um
So do
which,
you think that we've become more narcissistic?
oh yeah, I think all of us. I think it trickled down from us, right? The concepts and the creativity, the ideas were from our generation with MTV and all this other shit. And it just ballooned because we
Yeah.
could walk away from our televisions. If we
Yeah.
missed an episode of something, there was no way. You just had to wait till the summertime when the repeat started, right? You
Oh,
didn't.
man. And you always had like that one episode that kept repeating like 6 times.
Right, right. You're
Right.
just
I
like, this
hated
thing
that.
is like, yeah, it's like it's funny, like Lois and Clark. I always hated that show because every time I sat down as a kid to watch it, it was always the same two episodes all the time, right?
Yep.
And then I discovered it on Amazon like a few years ago, and then HBO Max, and then I was like, oh, there's 7 seasons of this thing. Like, it's like
Right.
I always thought it was like maybe like 10 or 12 episodes, and they just kept repeating them, but they never aired anything in order either.
That's true too. Yeah. You can
It
never
was
really.
never really aired in order, maybe the first run, but after the repeats began, there was no sequential order to those reruns. They were playing the
Yeah.
best. They were probably playing the best aired episodes, the most watched episodes. They were probably repeating. I don't think they repeated every single episode.
Not in order.
Not in order.
No.
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 Because I think it's Nielsen ratings, right? So if you're a Nielsen rating, you're depending on the ratings, you're gonna put on those episodes that had the highest ratings
Mhm.
and repeat those
Yep.
rather than the one that was the lowest.
Maybe that's why the miniseries was such a big deal.
Mm,
Like Shogun, V,
yeah.
because you could actually watch it all the way through.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that might have been why it was always like such a
Roots is a
big
good one.
you
Yeah.
know, because you just can't show a miniseries just like one episode. And be like,
Right.
yeah, I saw this before, the Thorn Birds or whatever they were called. You know, Shogun, Thornbirds. There's a bunch of those back then.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, just like, but I think once they were figured out, hey, you could carry your television in your pocket. That was it.
Yeah.
The
That
idiot.
was really only about 17 years ago.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
changed so much. But,
Well, I mean, I was thinking about Gaza the other day, and
mhm.
I've always had dreams about the United States looking like that, right? And a time where there's no electricity and people going back to
Yeah.
handmade things, trading, making things by hand. Um, it almost seemed impossible. That's maybe I would say like 5, 6 years ago. I was like, oh, that's never going to happen. But I'm seeing how it's happening. It's
Yeah.
happening not here, but they're doing it all over the world. There's destabilization all over the world. They want
Yep.
chaos everywhere.
Well,
They
that's how
want
they make their money.
right, and then it's like they want to destroy. These people in power want to destroy societies, and literally look at the Congo. They're bringing back slavery.
Yeah.
You know, Sudan. You saw that what happened in Sudan with
Hmm.
all the miracle.
Sudan's had a long history of enslavement, and
Yeah,
that's right after Libya got smashed. Libya has slavery
yeah.
too. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the mass murder. I mean, Libya was doing great under Gaddafi,
Gaddafi,
and then
whichever way you feel about him, he was doing well for his people.
right, and we just demonized them, and like no, 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 no. It's like we're not the freedom fighters. You know, we've lied to our side to ourselves and our society that we're the good guys, but we're not the good. We're the fucking stormtroopers.
He took the words out of my mouth.
You know, we're the fucking stormtroopers.
Yeah, we are. We
And
really
it's
are.
interesting because I remember when the George Lucas movie Episode 1, 2, and 3 came out. I remember looking at that and like Darth Vader's a good guy. Like,
Hmm.
what's going on? I don't, I don't. I remember the novels were not written that way. All
Right.
of a sudden, we had this shift. And that was a year before 9/11, but it was like Hollywood was prepping us to embracing this battleship troopers mentality. Like, yeah, you know, we're ultra violent. We're the stormtroopers, the cops, the the firefighters. Those are the good guys. Well, firefighters are good, but I
Yeah.
mean, like the cops. It's like, come on, it's like
Well,
it's
we've got propaganda up the
propaganda.
wazoo.
Yeah,
Every other show's about a cop.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
and it's just like everything's paramilitary. All our superheroes have military in it. You could look at any movie. If you look at Superman from like let's say Chris Reeves Superman movies, or even in any of the shows before that, there was never really a military presence in it. But now you
True.
have every superhero movie has some military aspect to it. The last Captain America movie did. Well, all the Captain America movies.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Captain America himself
Superman,
is military, so
yeah, the Superman movie had the military in it. The Man of Steel film. Every almost every you could literally handpick any Marvel movie, and there's an aspect of the military. And Iron Man, you know, there's a huge and it's a conditioning.
hmm
We grew up in the anti-war movement. We were like, no, I don't want to join the military. Vietnam,
sure.
my lie. No thanks. you
Well, I
know,
think I think a lot of us knew that it wasn't just to go. It was an imperialist war. In other words, we're going to go steal.
right.
I think we kind of knew that, but I think they also knew that too. So they had to change things on us,
Right.
and they changed the narrative on us.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the whole episode one. I know every episode I talk about Dune, so forgive me. Uh,
That's fine.
um,
That's
but
another one.
really, how I see Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker
Mm-hmm.
is really just two different aspects of Paul Atreides.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole book, I don't know if you've ever read the series. I read like a few years ago. I read the entire series.
Right.
First three books are excellent. The other books, if you're a Dune fan, you're gonna like them, whether they're great or not. But really, what he does is and he said this. Frank Herbert said, um, "I want to take your superheroes and show you how monstrous they are."
Mm.
So the whole character of Paul Atreides, you're into him. You're like, wow, he's great. He's this hero. And then the second book, you're like, holy shit, he's a monster.
Yeah.
So he was to sort of get you to see that even a rational person who's reading this, because we've been so conditioned, we would think someone who has all this prophecy stuff and everything else, we're so conditioned to that we don't really question it.
Right.
That's what it is. And I feel that Lucas, I don't know if you know the story of this, but
Oh, he ripped off Dune, yeah.
big time. Like
Flash Gordon and all that. I mean, even
there were
Return
20.
of the Jedi. You had the fucking worms in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, but in space.
Yep. And
Mhm.
like when Frank Herbert went to help advise on the Dune movie for 1984, the 1984 version, David Lynch version, he said he met with Lynch. Lynch sat down with him and had a list of 20 things he couldn't do in the film because Star Wars had already ripped it off.
Mm.
And that right there is just like, what do you do as an author? So he said, and there's a great essay that he wrote on this. He
20
said,
things.
yeah, he said Hollywood is not a place for creativity. It's a
No.
place where things get ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just being rehashed. So it's nothing new. Like when people start complaining, oh, that's all nothing new. One, it's a business. Two, they need to make a lot of money from this business, so they're going to be safe because most of it's bankrolled by banks.
Right.
And three, because we're inundated with more media, so there's tons of YouTube movies you can see now.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched a movie called Dreamscape,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much Inception
Mm-hmm.
from the 1980s. It was with Dennis Quaid.
Oh, yeah, New Dreamscape. Yeah, that was a big one.
So there's a
And
lot of things.
Flatliners has that same.
Exactly, yeah, man. I haven't thought of that one in a while. So
Mm-hmm.
we kind of think that Hollywood, and we've been trained to think that Hollywood is where all the real creativity goes to.
No.
That's kind of the graveyard of it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, all the great stuff came out. I think their high point was the '80s, and the '80s was already rehashes of things from the '60s and the '70s, and
Mhm. I
they
think the
just
60s were the real height.
yeah, like the Prisoner and the
Mhm.
Planet of the Apes. He had so many good movies,
Yeah. And
Drugstore Cowboy. I mean,
I think the big difference is that a lot of the stuff created in the 50s and 60s were
mhm.
veterans coming back criticizing
Right.
the culture that they had gotten them to go to war.
Right.
You
Yes,
know,
it was all commentary on the bullshit society of the 1950s and 40s and their grandparents' America.
Mhm.
You know, so they were kind of like the millennials today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think those
Yeah.
voices exist today,
Mhm.
but I feel that you and I, with Trump land, a lot of the stuff that I do, we both criticize a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that voices like ours and other voices, because I'm sure there's other voices out there,
Mhm.
are not allowed to enter the mainstream
Oh yeah.
by any means. No, can't have it at all.
Online wise, I basically don't really exist. Creativity, my books don't really pop up, like online if you search them. I mean, Trump land sometimes, but
Yeah,
World Without Superheroes. My lawsuit with DC and Marvel come up more than the actual. Like, what was it that caused that lawsuit? Doesn't
right,
really come up.
right.
And still, and still, I started publishing New World Without Superheroes, which some of the original stuff from the '90s for the first time since it came out in the '90s. Kind of like reprinting, but changing the format. People aren't interested. They're like, they use a book like they're fanning themselves. Like, oh, this isn't like literally like they're doing this. Like, what the fuck? It's not an animation.
Right,
It's a
right,
book.
right.
You think there's like a little stick figure in there moving? You're like, are you trying to get to see the stick figure move? It's like, it's like,
Wow.
which I should probably do for my next book. Now that I say that, maybe now they're like, oh, there's something. Oh, that's cool. Like, maybe we should do those little Mad Magazine drawing things on the margins. They're like, there's a book and there's a stick figure like saying like,
You
oh
could literally have buy this book.
right, exactly, yeah,
Yeah, I think there's that. I think
you know,
what you're talking about, the nepotism is very true. You
right,
see it in every industry, and I really hate that the whole idea of meritocracy is sold to us because
right,
that's not the reality.
hmm,
There are many people who have gone to their graves who were very talented,
hmm,
and
yeah,
you know, maybe afterwards, maybe somebody went, "Oh, okay, I'll rip them off. He's dead now, or she's
right,
dead."
right,
You know,
right, exactly. How many people have ripped off Basquiat? There's a lot of artists. There's a new artist doing his style. It's like, what the hell? It's like there's another guy who's ripping off Keith Haring.
yeah, and
They
then
call him Mr. Doodle or whatever. I'm like, that's Keith Haring. You've got no fucking creativity. It's like,
and the gallery. I mean, one thing's if you do it like graphics because you think it looks like a cool T-shirt, something ironic about it.
there's a
But if that's your house style, you know.
right.
But in terms of the galleries, that's a whole other different world. I know a lot of people get upset over the banana and the
Oh yeah,
table.
yeah.
And I say this that I started more like in fine arts.
Right. Same.
Fortunately, in my high school, my teacher, she was more fine arts, so I got used to that kind of world a little bit. I'm not comfortable with it though.
Right.
Um,
That's
Only
another form of
because
prostitution.
the art is in the sale.
Right.
The art and here's the thing: there are very wealthy people who are looking for things to park their money.
Right.
It isn't necessarily like, oh, because sometimes I'll hear certain very skilled artists, and I mean
Right.
like very skilled artists, complain about this. It's like it has nothing to do with skill. It's the fact that a bunch of rich people got together. The gallery owner is one of them. And they're like, oh, yes, this is worth $5 million. Okay, I'll buy it.
Right.
This now, I lend it out to a museum. And now I get a tax write off or whatever it might be.
Right.
Right. So it's a financial scheme. It's not
Absolutely.
really about the art. And I think we kind of have to, as artists, start to realize that and not really berate the other ones who are doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to applaud it, but I'm not going to hate the player because that's the game.
Right. Tom Wolfe talked about that way back in 75 in The Painted Word,
Hmm.
about that whole thing about the art world kind of being a sham and it's just all these rich people trading art with their friends.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we trade comics and baseball cards as kids, they trade
Yep.
paintings and
Yep.
sculptures. And
Absolutely.
it's a very closed market for the ultra wealthy.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
they perpetuate it because they own or at least have the ears of the educators.
Hmm.
So then when it comes to being art history is taught,
Hmm.
what's taught then is these paintings are important. Why are they
Yeah.
important? Because they're important. The
Right.
reality is because,
Right.
you have a bunch of
Because as
rich
rich
people.
people say it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've done stuff in college that I have still in slide work. I don't own any of the original paintings anymore. They got destroyed throughout the years, like in different storages, whatever. And maybe a few, but I've done murals, like when I worked in probation. And there's
Mhm.
like this big artist, African American artist right now. He's huge for doing these flags with images on them. And I'm like, I did that fucking 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were like, my teachers, which were big artists then, they were like, oh, that's kitsch, or that's this, or that's that. And
Yeah.
it's like they just downed it. And then now you got people making their careers off of this stuff, off of stuff that I did, because I remember, for instance, when I was an undergrad in SVA, they had the senior showcase. So they give you like a gallery space and
Mhm.
you showcase your work. And then these mentors, which, the the teachers. And they were like the master's teachers. They come and they talk to you once or twice a week about what you're doing, and they're basically trying to get you to get into the master's program. Oh, but they just like some people thought my stuff was great. Some people thought it was, and for me, I was just kind of like making fun of Jasper Johns in my head, because I was like, this guy sucks.
Right.
So every artist I hated, I basically did an homage to, but but it was uniquely mine. You wouldn't look at it and say that's Jasper Johns.
You did it sort of like
It was like
ironically with
right. It was
some,
ironic. It was like a series.
right.
It was a series of flags, and each flag portrayed a war. And I used skids, like wooden skids, for this stuff. Like, so I was literally painting wooden skids. Some of my stretched canvas on, some of them I didn't. Some of them talked about the Vietnam War. I even put action figures and dolls in it. Oh, that's kitsch. That's kitsch. That's it's like the Vietnam one was all these guys coming. They almost like it was like a cage. Like you ever saw the Deer Hunter where they're in that wooden bamboo cage. So the flag was a cage, and these action figures were like had guts and like latex guts coming out of their bodies and stuff. And I was like, and they were like, oh, this is kitsch. And then I had one with army men on it, right? And then they were like, oh, and then one with cowboys and Indians. I had the cowboys and Indians flag, right? So I got a lot of praise for it. And then this one lady dogged it. I forgot her name. She was a famous artist. She just ripped me a new asshole. She just didn't like me. Her star student in the master's program, she brought him to see that. And then they published his work, and when the masters came out with their gallery thing, which was an actual gallery which they had in Soho, that motherfucker ripped me off. So she basically, the only difference was he made army men and painted them red and yellow. So I had army men on the flag, crawling on the flag, fighting each other. And it was big. These are like giant skids that were painted such canvas. And this guy just put them on the floor. Didn't even bother to paint a flag or anything. Just put a bunch of army men all over the floor, and they painted them red and yellow. And I was like, and they're celebrating this guy, like, oh, he's so genius, he's so this, he's so that. He didn't even make them. He literally just bought them. So I was like, just like I said, So I think that's the art world for you, is that they'll dog you. It's all about who you know, right? If you kiss the right ass or the wrong ass.
Well, the perfect example is the cultural appropriation that goes with it.
Oh yeah.
Like when I was in high school, my art teacher would have me come in and teach different classes on perspective, because she couldn't teach perspective. So I used to teach perspective, and I also used to teach the kids about contemporary art, because contemporary art is not modern art. Everybody confuses the two. Modern art. So I teach about modern art, and I would teach about how Native American African art were doing a lot of the things way before Europeans. When Europeans saw that art, like Haida art or Inca and Aztec, and whatever it might be from Africa too, as well.
Picasso just said it's Cubism.
They're just savages, right?
Yeah.
Then some white dude comes and does it, and all of a sudden he's genius. So it kind of works into what you're saying.
Yeah.
Granted, at least I could say Picasso always said he was influenced by African art. Always. That's something that was the standard he did. Now, did he culture appropriate? Oh yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But the foundations of all this stuff, and I mean, like, graphically, even Keith Haring, his stuff is very much influenced by that. I don't know if he would say that he wasn't. I think he'd agree to that. But overall, the culture viewed African and indigenous art as lower, and still does, even though they're doing way cooler things than the European counterparts. So it's all about perspective.
Right.
In terms of art, it's very colonized,
Right. Yeah, it's and they did it cooler too. Think about all the I was just talking to my wife about that, about the museum. Everything in the museum is stolen.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
the fucking nerve to arrest people for theft or arrest people for murder, but yet they're literally bombing countries and stealing their art and massacring people and stealing their culture and putting it in museums. I mean, don't be surprised if um but I remember like when they were like, oh, they raided the museums and stole the art, like and when Iraq fell, and I was like, that shit's gonna show up in a museum, and it did.
Yeah.
It did.
And probably the
Who hired the
laziest.
thugs to steal, right? Who hired those? And then the same thing's gonna be Palestine. They bombed the shit out of Palestine. Watch, watch some Palestinian shit show up in a museum.
Yep.
It's
And then
like
there's the private collections that
right,
we'll never see.
right,
There's
exactly.
probably things that we know nothing about because some rich guy has, I don't know, something that could show that
Mhm,
civilization started in Africa
mhm.
hundreds of thousands of years ago or something. I'm exaggerating, but that's a
Yeah,
possibility.
but yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, there was just recently the FBI went into a gallery opening and literally snatched a painting off the wall during the opening, and they freaked out. But it was a painting that was stolen like over 40 years ago, and all of a
Wow.
sudden they were selling it. It just appeared. So nobody was arrested. They just walked right in, like a whole crew, and they just snatched it off the wall and walked right out.
Wow.
And they're like,
Wow.
"What are you doing?" Like they were like literally in the middle of an auction, and they just snatched it off the wall.
Wow.
Like, we're gonna just take that shit and walk out. This is stolen, and they got proof. So it's like,
Well, that's why, I mean, like the Louvre, I'm sure you heard about what happened at the Louvre,
yeah, yeah,
right? They did it in 7 or 8 minutes. But my first reaction to it was, hold on, a building full of stolen goods
right. It's like it was so
had
shocking,
something stolen from it. Like,
right?
whoa, wait a second.
Like, give me
I'm
a
so
break.
surprised. You know. The other thing is that due to a lot of the budget cuts, thanks to Macron, who, by the way, um, he has a hairdresser he pays, I think, $30,000 a month.
That's nuts.
That's repugnant. But anyway, they've
Yeah,
had
well,
budget cuts at the
good,
Louvre.
good for the hairdresser, but that's fucked up.
It's like, you know,
$30,000 a month. Okay.
that's what I
It doesn't
was.
sound like he's just getting haircuts. He must be getting some
Maybe he's getting happy endings. I don't know.
happy endings. You have to shave like the undesirable parts.
Right, right. I just like, wow. But there have been budget cuts at the Louvre, but the Louvre has never been really overly secure. So that's one thing
Yeah,
I understand. They did steal the Mona Lisa a while ago.
yeah, yeah.
Picasso got blamed for it because he had a friend that was a kleptomaniac.
Hmm.
He would steal from there all the time and sell him stuff. So they thought that he might have bought the stolen Mona Lisa, and he had to show up to a court and he had to break down crying, saying, "I didn't steal it." Turned out to be some other person. Paris is also the jewel heist capital of the world.
Right, right.
There literally is a jewel heist gang called the Pink Panthers. Um,
Oh, is that real? Is that like influenced by the film?
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, why not?
That's
Uh,
fucking
so
hilarious.
stuff like that happens. But yeah, stealing, they do it all the time. I mean, you can go to different parts of Europe.
Yeah,
Um, they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, we stole this from the Greeks, or we stole it from this, or you
right.
know." I just, but when they get stolen from them, whoa,
I'm
different story,
telling
right? Yeah,
you. Yeah, it's like, hey, they didn't have to murder a whole society, but they did.
right, right. It's
It's
just
like,
I like to chuck it up to Europeans being European. What are you gonna do?
yeah, for real.
They stole it? Wow. Did anyone get killed? No. Wow.
I'll tell you a funny story. I was at an art meeting a few weeks ago. Like you get all the art teachers. And then we went on lunch, went on lunch break. We're walking around. There's like a little local store,
Hmm.
and one of the art teachers buys something, and go to the register, they buy it, they walk out, and I look at her neck. I'm like, that scarf, you took that off the rack, put it on your neck, walked out, gave the register lady attitude, and then complained about how the quality of what she just purchased was not worth the price. And I just looked and I was like, you just stole that scarf on your neck. Oh, I must have forgotten to take it, put it in the basket. So you can go back in and hand it back and apologize. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I feel like I overpaid for this thing. She's like, you're not going to judge me because I stole. And I almost said it. I was like, well, it's kind of like your nature. It's like your culture. Like Europeans just steal everything. Like and I just bit my tongue. I was like, I have to go back to work. Just like,
Wow. It seems to me that she was justifying that the one thing she purchased was crappy so she could walk away with the scarf.
right. Which was, I think, more expensive than what she purchased. So it's like, and the rest of the art teachers didn't say anything, but I'm sure they all
Wow.
thought they're like, yeah, you're fucking thieves. That's all you guys do. You steal.
Wow.
It's like, I hate to say it like that.
Wow.
I didn't say it, but I was thinking it. I was like, well, I was like, I'm not here to judge you. I was like, that's on your conscience. It's between you and God. Nothing to do with me. That's what I said. I was like, well, I'm not surprised. That's what I wanted to say is I'm not surprised. You're being
Wow.
stealing. And that's the fact. Meanwhile, you're giving attitude to this person who has this store. This is not a corporate store. It's not a chain store or like a Macy's or something. This is like a mom and pop shop selling boutique stuff. It's like, so it's like you're stealing from your own community. It's like,
Yeah.
So it's like,
And meanwhile, there'll be because that person paid for that.
right.
It isn't like some mega corporation that was like
Right.
ripped off, literally ripped off the factory anyway. Yeah, we'll buy it for like 10 cents
Right.
a piece.
So it's just like, I was like, this is not a person I want to be around. It's like, that's.
Yeah, I have to say,
Uh,
fine arts is kind of tough that way.
yeah.
Very judgmental over comic books too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, big time.
Very judgmental.
They don't consider comics art, but when they steal from other comic book artists and put it on the canvas, now it's fine art.
Lichtenstein, right?
Yeah, Lichtenstein is one of many. Yeah,
Yeah, he ripped off a lot of stuff.
yeah, he's
Literally panel for panel.
and yes, excuse me, stole directly from a lot of these guys that these artists, and then they try to sue and they couldn't sue the artists. The comic artists couldn't sue them because the corporation had to bring forward the lawsuit and they weren't interested. So they couldn't even sue over their own art because they didn't own their own art. It was work for hire.
Right. Which is a whole other sleazy thing too.
Yes, and exactly.
But it's funny because in all of this, comic art, I always feel is like the people's art.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's something that everyone can consume. I know that Alan Moore said when it became graphic novels, it became more expensive,
right,
for people to consume. I highly disagree on him with that because the amount of money that you would normally spend on comics each month, you might be able to spend on graphic novels per year. It works out to being about the same amount of money. Plus, you can get it out of the library.
Right, sure. You can rent it. You don't have to buy it. Well, I mean, but I would say with these Kickstarters, a friend of mine, asked me to support his Kickstarter the other day, and I was like, yeah, of course, I'll check it out. And I checked it out, and I think it was a floppy. The guy wanted $40 for it. I'm like, what? I was like, no. $20 for the digital copy. I'm like, no. Like, no, it's too much. And then another guy, these are guys that worked in the industry. Another guy last year was selling one of his Kickstarter books in person.
Hmm.
So Kickstarter, I get it. You got to pay for shipping. There's a mailing thing. Whatever. There's inside costs, and then Kickstarter takes their own percentage, right? So I get it. You have to you can't sell the book for $2 to $5. When I did a Kickstarter, it wasn't successful, but I didn't charge more than $10 for a comic because but that's including shipping. So
Hmm.
it's like shipping is expensive. It's like $7. If you're in California, it's more. But the guy was at a show, and he was selling his Kickstarter book, which was from years prior, for the same price as the Kickstarter, $30 an issue. And it was like a floppy, what they call floppies now, like a regular comic. I was like you got
24 pages or so?
he had maybe 16 pages of art, and the rest was like not even I don't even think it was a 24-page comic, but he had pinups and stuff like that. But it wasn't even a full comic. Like, it was literally thinner than a regular comic. Now, my regular issues are like between 30, 40 pages. Sometimes I'll do an even 24, no ads, you know.
Hmm.
Just art. If I had ads in it, it could easily be a 50-page book or something, right? But these guys, it's like, I understand Kickstarter, you have to pay Kickstarter, you got to pay for shipping, whatever, so the price is higher. But you're at a show with the book that didn't cost you that much to print. I would say printing has gone up. So, like, a book that used to cost $2 or $3 to print, now it's like $4, like between $3 and $4. So I get it if you want to sell it for like $7 or $10 to try to make,
Hmm.
make some sort of profit or whatever. But you're selling a comic book that's not even a full comic. It's almost like a fanzine
Right.
for $30.
Right.
I'm just like, when I did my graphic novel, I was selling it for $20
Hmm.
on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
$20. That was it. I think there was and I had a separate section for shipping it was an additional $5 or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
it's 150 pages.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
how do you justify selling a comic book, which is not even a full comic, for 30 or $40? I don't even understand that. Like,
It's crazy. I mean, years ago when I did Samurai Elf, which was my first book, a graphic novel, I sold it for $13.95 or something. It
mm-hmm,
had like 180 pages.
mm-hmm,
It was black and white.
mm-hmm,
It was smaller because I figured I could get more out of the sheet. Because
mm-hmm,
I thought that it would be better to have an annual series
mm-hmm,
that was cheaper. You can get more for your bang for your buck,
mm-hmm.
because it's a smaller book size. You can put it up on your bookshelf, and then you're not like worrying about all the floppies. Because it seems to me the floppies are more expensive now than the graphic novels to
Right.
produce.
Yeah, that's like Trump Land. This one was put up by Arsenal Pulp Press, and they put it USA $11.95 and $14.95 for Canada. I'm like,
Yeah, Canada always gets screwed.
and I was like, it's a full graphic novel. Though. I was like, that's a little underpriced. $12 for America. I was like, a typical graphic novel in the United States of this size is,
Yeah.
about $20-$25. But people, you know, but I mean, I look at the paper; it's not glossy, but I'm just like, it's kind of
Yeah, it's color though.
it's color. But that's a decent price, Like, people are selling this online for like way more. It's like it's like the resellers are selling it more than what I sell it for. Signed.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that with Samurai Elf sometimes. I'm like, there's one dude that he must have been smoking something. He had it for like $400.
Mm.
I'm like, come on now. Like, it's not worth $400. I'm like, nobody. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah, no one's
Right.
good.
Uh, But here, graphic novels, they cost, okay, so they're average 80 pages.
Mm-hmm.
They cost about, they can range from 15 euros to 20.
Mm.
Full color, big, like, so you can really get into the art, almost like the kids' books, right?
Right.
And hardcover. So, and those come out yearly. So people buy them, the ones that they like,
Mm-hmm.
once a year.
Right.
Oh, new, so the very popular one I told you about, Black Sad. New Black Sad's coming out. I'm there. You know, new whatever it might be. One, it's great for the artist
Right.
because we're not stressing about trying to meet a monthly insane schedule,
Right.
which means the art quality is going to go up.
Oh yeah, for
It
sure.
should. Two, the person's not stressing out over spending $20 a month
Mm-hmm.
on this comic book, right? So, but I was always very conscious of the pricing for it. And I remember got Samurai Elf Diamond, dearly departed Diamond.
No
Uh,
tears. No tears here.
no tears here either. And when I went to get my second book with them, the volume two, I had a hard time because they never explained to me that there was an actual quota I had to hit.
Mm.
And I'm like, so I managed to get it in, didn't sell that many anyway, because I always like number two doesn't sell as well as number one. That's
Right.
also another problem too. You're not giving the chance for a series to grow,
Right.
right? It takes more than one issue.
Well, they did that. They did that intentionally to screw the independents because to keep the competition down with DC and Marvel.
Mm.
As if you really look at the comic book world today, you have more independents than you ever had in history
Wow.
because it was companies. But in the tri-state area, we kind of know everybody, right? We go to
Hmm.
show, we know people. But I went to shows in Virginia, shows in Florida, California. There's like a whole nother group of people that we don't know. And that's like
Right.
massive. Like there's a lot of independence, a lot like from state to state. You go to these different shows and you're like, oh, I don't know anybody here, but there's a shitload of people. It's just as big as New York City. Like
Hmm.
even some small towns, it's just as big. You're like,
And I've mentioned it to you before that
you know,
being independents, we should all network with each other. That we shouldn't look at each other as competitors, but
absolutely.
look at each other as
Mhm.
comrades in arms to help foster a different industry that isn't reliant on this two system, and that we can actually help each other.
Another two-party system, right? Marvel and
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a little anarchistic in my regard. It's a little anarchistic, but I think we could create something. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean we have union fees or whatever, but at least a network. I
Yeah.
like it because you never know. Oh, I need a colorist. I need this. Hey, man, I got a guy who's actually hurting for work. Here you go. That kind of thing. And this way we build the ground up. But the shows are the toughest part because the shows are expensive.
Yeah, they've raised their prices. It's like they've used now. Before you could have a show, you have a decent table price. You had enough vendors, but now the vendors they've gone beyond the vendors. They're doing well with the vendors. There's no shortage of vendors. What it is that now they want these bigger Hollywood type celebrities there. So now they're juicing us. They're like, well, how do I pay for this celebrity's guarantee? And I got like 20 movie stars at this show. So they raised the table price, and then we're like the peasants paying for the wealthy when they could pay for their own goddamn table. If they put their own table, like a $20,000 booth, they'd make more than $20,000 with those signatures. That they charge
Especially
500.
because they're charging for signatures now, right?
Yeah,
Like I know Mark Hamill is.
yeah. Mark Hamill, I think, charges $300 a signature. I mean, some of
And
these
I
five
understand from
hundred
the
dollars
other,
a signature.
and I kind of understand where he's coming from with that because I know people turn around and then sell it on eBay.
Yeah,
So I understand,
but at the
part of
same
the system.
time, At the same time, they just killed the market because
Yeah.
now the people that made those shows happen, the creators, the artists, the vendors, now they can no longer afford. So now I've seen less and less shows with artists in it and more vendors, like more guys selling their collections and cards. And I went to two shows and everything was like Pokemon cards, not even comics anymore. And then video games. You have these video game companies doing these tournaments, and the tournaments are big because guess what? They're not. They have all these computers. They have all this. It's a weird model. They basically run these tournaments. They charge a fee to enter, but the money is
Mhm.
not there. They don't make the money on the fees of the
The
entrance
entrance
fees.
fees.
And there's these massive prizes. They make the money on selling your information, your data, your email. Because when you register, you have to put your email account and this, and that's where the big money is in your data. Your email is what they're making thousands and thousands of dollars on. Sometimes millions.
So some a-hole can spam me.
Right. So they're basically spent. Right. Exactly. You sign up for, I'm going to play this video game competition. Those tournaments are not making money on those tournaments. They're making money on the sale of your private
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, and they might as well just make it free.
Yeah,
Once you get to that point, if you're not making money off the attendance, just make it free. I
right.
know they're going to want to take as much money as they can, but
Yeah,
it's a shitty model. In the end, it's going back to where we were talking about Hollywood. It's about the money,
hmm
but once it's all about the money, you don't have the creativity.
right. And then
At some
people don't
point, it's
go
going
to
to
the movies,
collapse.
and then they don't tell you about how good the movie is. They tell you about how the movie was, how much money the movie made. When we were kids, they
Yeah,
told us about the movie, the story, the plot,
yeah,
why you should see it because it's good. No, they tell you, oh, this movie made this much money. Should you
yeah.
go see it?
And they've gotten all of us to do this. Oh, this movie didn't do well. I'm
Right,
like, I don't care. Is it a fun movie?
right.
There are
Is it good?
tons of movies that did shit.
Right.
You go from like old school, classic 1940s movies like Casablanca.
Yeah.
Blade Runner sucked.
Right.
The
Citizen
Thing
Kane
didn't do
bombed in the
well.
theater. Citizen Kane was not a successful movie.
That's right. That tanked.
You know,
There's tons of movies that tanked that are now like solid
Gems.
classics,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm sure they made their money many times over on DVD and on
Yeah.
download and
It's a
everything else.
Wonderful Life is like an annual thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, Wonderful Life. I just watched The Thing this year again.
I was just watching the 1950s version the other day. The
Oh, the
thing.
old school one. Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, you can watch it for free on Roku now. It's like with
Okay. YouTube's got a whole bunch of old films.
Mm-hmm.
I was just watching Krull.
Oh, Crow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they got that one on
That
YouTube.
was like a Marvel comic too, right?
Yeah, it was. They really pushed it. That tanked. That didn't do
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, that's the cult classics that are there for a reason.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed this. Maybe it's just because I'm old. Maybe it's just our age. But when I watch Netflix, I like the old school shit movies from Blockbuster better sometimes. Like, I feel like some of the stuff on Netflix is like the new school, too polished
Right.
Blockbuster shit without the actual like
Actors, yeah.
cool premises. It's like I got a quarter of a premise
Right.
and I'm gonna ram this down your throat. Whereas
Right.
some of the old movies, you're like, man, that's a shit movie. Those are some really cool concepts.
Right. Yes.
Like, I don't know. There's just something about it. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's just my age.
There was a BBC show called Utopia. They made an American version with John Cusack, which sucked. But like the Republicans would say they gave it the woke treatment, and they really did.
In what way? What definition of woke are we talking
They
about?
reversed. Well, it's a diverse show. The British show is very diverse, right? But the main protagonist was a female white woman, right? But they had people of color in in the British one, but they did unnecessary switches. Like in the American one, first of all, the comic book artist in the British one was like an underground comic book artist. It looked like a psycho druid. And the American one, it looked like a DC Marvel comic that was like super highly polished, you know. Uh, and then the main protagonist they made into a black female. You know, she's like mixed. She's not, but she was identified as black, even though she's part Jewish. You can see that she's a Jewish black woman.
Okay.
But and then they made her a lesbian. So in the British one, it's a white female. She's in love with this one guy that she's searching for, and she's obsessed with this guy. In the American version, she's looking for the guy, but she's always beating on him. Like she's like not just verbally abusing him, but physically beating him. Then there was a mixed couple in the British version, which was a black guy and a white girl. In the American version, they flipped it. It was a black girl with a white guy, and then, which doesn't make sense. And then the black female protagonist is constantly hitting on her. So instead of hitting on the guy, like in the British version, like she's in love with the guy, she's obsessed with him. She's hitting on the girl who was like a minor character in the British version and gave her more prominence in this one. So they're trying to do like this whole black lesbian thing in there. And it's just like, and it kind of derailed. It's the same story. But once you did that, it kind of derailed. It became more about her being a lesbian than trying to save the world.
Right. Right.
Like,
And what the crazy part is
Yeah.
that
and that's
when-
okay, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Like that, we're not here to watch the black lesbian. We're here to watch to be a story to be told. You know.
yeah, I think that there's several different issues that people call woke that the original definition does not fit.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But
And I am pro woke. Even in my introduction in Trumpland, I say stay woke
Yeah,
at the end of my
being aware,
introduction.
right?
Yeah,
But
be
I
aware.
think I
Yeah.
think what a lot of people miss, like I went to university for film.
Mhm.
A lot of people miss several different things. One, it's a business about making money.
Right.
Two, when they start getting into demographics,
Mhm.
they start to get nuts.
Right.
So the excuse of, oh, we're being woke
Right.
really is, hey, black person, chick, lesbian, check,
Right.
like all these checks to try to get this
Right.
broad demographic of I don't know who.
Right. But it's not organic. You know?
It's not organic. I mean,
Yeah. My cousin works in the Hollywood movie, and they said that anyone that had a white protagonist in the film, they weren't greenlighting any of those movies. And it's like, why not?
well, and that's the complete
Yeah.
opposite. Years ago, when
Yeah.
I took a business of film course. It was in Canada. I still remember sitting there, and this guy from one of the major studios came to talk to us because we were learning how films were being produced. And some of the young women, because I was young then, they're young too. They asked the guy, so why aren't there more black faces as leads in
Right.
films? Dude didn't even bat an eye. He just said, black faces don't sell movies.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because they can
And they
sell
went to town on him.
Yeah.
And so they've gone from one
Extreme to the next.
to the next extreme.
Right.
And the reality is, and most people don't talk about the business side. This is when it was actually that course that I decided I'll stick to comics. Thank you very much. As crazy as it sounds.
I mean, the white savior complex is an overtold story, and we should have more diverse faces in there for sure. But that doesn't mean to exclude them. Like, don't do this at all. But
Yeah, but they look at as being counters.
it's like it's all or nothing. That's the problem.
And they look at it as being counters. I think a lot of us
Right.
give them way too much more credit. I remember my prof saying to our class, so have you ever noticed that there's always a theme every summer for the movie theaters. I'm like, yeah. It's like, so for example, have you noticed it's always like a disaster movie? And it's like 5 or 6 of these disaster movies. And then the next summer is like everything's space and so on. And
Right.
I'm like,
It's true.
yeah.
It's true.
And he says, do you think that's just by accident? And we're like, dum-dums. Yeah. He's like, no. He says,
Right.
this is how it works. The major studios will get a whole bunch of scripts. They'll sit down with the banks. The banks will go, okay, what you got? Okay, we got disaster movie A, where the asteroids come and destroy everything. Disaster movie B, that's going to do this. So the banks will finance themes.
Mm,
So it comes first from the financing.
right.
A lot of us think, oh, they're being creative and they're not really. No,
Mm,
it's literally a money system. That's part of the
right.
reason I didn't want to go into film
Right.
with that, because I figured if I want to create something, I'll create it. It's on me. And
Right.
well, if I end up being some obscure fucking fuckhead, so what, right? That's why I'm in comics. And but that really opened up my eyes. Now what they did is they went to the next extreme with the superhero films. Now they know 5, 6, 10 years down the road. This is why they don't give a shit if like Green Lantern doesn't do well,
Right.
because they know that X-Men, whatever it might be, is going to make them the money and make up for that.
Right.
And it's funny because they get us to think about the numbers, but we don't think about the numbers in terms of like, these assholes aren't catering to me because I'm a customer.
Right. No, not at all.
They're trying to like get into my bank account because they'll throw me any old shit.
Yeah.
If black gay lesbians are going to do your thing, I'll
Right.
sell you that.
It's like the porn
Right.
industry. What sells more in the porn industry is like more gay films sell more, and she-male films sell more. And guess what? They're all in the Bible Belt, where they're where they're totally gets it. You think
Demographics.
the demographics is not New York? It's not the tri-state area.
Right.
It's the southern. Like the brother and stepsister and all that stuff, and stepdad and all that stuff. That's
Yeah.
all down south.
But
The Bible Belt is where all that crazy stuff sells.
right. But they're not selling us. They're not selling us stories. Like, I think that when we get a movie that we really enjoy, we're
Right.
like, wow, that felt like a movie.
Right.
It's just by sheer chance. It's not because the studios try to create a controlled environment in
Mhm.
which we have very few choices, and
Mhm.
because we're fucking bored, we'll be like, yeah, I'll watch this.
Right.
All right, it was shit. It took my $20. But you know
And,
what? You got your $20.
and now our movies are mixed with our politics, where we're actually being lied to.
Well,
And it's like watching a movie. The news is like another film, like and these
yeah,
podcasts, like Candace Owens said that
it's
Charlie
always been
Kirk's
like
wife received $350,000 from an anonymous source 2 weeks before his death. Like,
yeah, but it's always been like that.
it's like a soap opera,
Yeah, but it's always been like Hollywood has always been in bed with the the military-industrial complex.
Oh yeah, and
Oh,
yeah,
Top Gun, perfect example of
yeah,
politics being,
yeah, exactly.
Rambo.
Yeah.
Maybe not the first one. Definitely the other ones were
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. Yes.
Yeah,
Love Larry Hama's stories on Snake Eyes, but we got to be real. That
right.
stuff was all part of
It's all
getting you to sign
propaganda.
up.
Yep, sign up. Yeah, I know a lot of guys. Everyone that I grew up loving GI Joe, like they grew up with, they all joined the military except for me because my dad was already in the military.
So you had an idea.
I had an idea. I was always on the base. It wasn't anything, and my father was a jerk. He was like, I love the guy, but he was just like, he was not the nicest, loving father. Just say that, he did the best he could, but I mean, it's like,
Oh man,
I already
I'm
knew
sorry to
about
hear.
the military. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not joining this.
Yeah.
So,
No, to me, my dad served too. He was in the Air Force. I never had any inclination to serve.
yeah.
My brother got in, but then got out. He was in the range. He got into the Rangers program. Something happened to him where he changed his mind.
Mhm.
But I was never really a GI Joe type guy. I always loved Transformers though. Loved it. was a Transformers guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I would say I like the Transformers more than G.I. Joe too. Yeah. It
yeah,
was much cooler.
much cooler.
More
You know,
imaginative. More imaginative.
He-Man, Thundercats, all that stuff. But G.I. Joe is never really, except for Snake Eyes. I love the ninja.
Yeah, yeah. The
That's the
snake the
only thing I
ninja was
cared was the ninja shit.
yes.
I like the other stuff like, eh.
Right, right.
Dude's got to have swords, man.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, there was a whole bunch of stuff about talking about white saviors about Snake Eyes being white, and then they made him Japanese, which I was like, well, that goes against the entire story because he's a vet. And I think the thing is they get caught so we get so caught up on race that we don't get caught up on the story. When the race of the person matters more than the story, I think you lose that yarn, that thread. Because people aren't going to the movies to see a race. They're going to the movies to see a story, a good story, you know.
yeah, but it has to be said that our society is really inundated with race.
It is. Our society is
So
overly
inundated with it.
overly absorbed with it. I
And
mean,
I think that,
it's like Snake Eyes being Japanese is just like, well, then why would he, if he's Japanese, why would he be fighting in Vietnam? Oh, but there's not in Vietnam now. Now it's like, oh, so you just kind of just wipe the character clean. He's no longer the
actually,
person.
Japan might not have assisted us, but Koreans did.
Right, right.
Yeah, there were Asians who assisted us in Vietnam. And we
No,
had
but
bases for.
Korea, but not Japan. It's like.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. In Vietnam, there were we had some assistance from some. Now it would have been cool. This would
Mhm.
have been really cool. This is how you work in that he's one. They
Well,
never deal with mixture, so
right.
even a very easy way to say he's
Mhm.
half Japanese, half white.
Right.
Grew up in an internment camp,
Mhm.
ended up joining in the military, ends up in Vietnam. And then
Right.
you can deal with a lot of the contradictions of like a dude
Right.
that was in a camp who's
Right.
out there doing the same shit that got him in there.
Right.
But we also don't like to deal with contradictions,
Right.
which,
Well, I mean, like there was 3,000 Russians that fought alongside the Viet Cong, and that's not in any history book. That just
yep,
came out in the news when a lot of these guys were dying of Agent Orange, and Russia finally recognized them in 2006.
yeah. Well, they weren't supposed to, right? Because
Yeah, it
Russia
was a
said it wasn't
covert,
involved.
they were
Russia said,
denying it, but
yeah.
we were it was a proxy war between Russia and the United States, it's
And
like,
I'm sure China had some people in there too.
oh
I'm
yeah,
sure China
that's
did.
true. Yeah, and I'm
'Cause-
sure that, and then the same thing with Cuba, like the war in Cuba.
Mhm. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things to be told, but I think that the main problem with the white savior trope is that whiteness ends up being the default for all of us.
Oh yeah, it's exhausting personally.
Yeah.
I think it's exhausting. It's overdone.
Yeah.
So it's overdone. We got enough of it.
You,
I
you
don't think
know,
I don't think you need to have any more movies of that, but I think that I guess what I'm trying to say is that if someone wrote that script and they're like, okay, we're not going to move that, that's fine. But you don't want the population of white people feeling excluded either. You want a sense of inclusion,
well,
and
they got a lot of movies.
oh, they do. They do. Also, they got enough. But I mean, but I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
just kidding.
no, but I'm just saying, like, our films don't reflect our reality.
No.
And no matter where you go, it's a very multicultural society. Like I mean, there are pockets of places that have no people of color. That's for sure. Um, but that's not the standard. And I think that
Yeah.
they've yet to find that balance.
Well, I think the main problem is, race needs to be tackled, but class needs to be tackled.
Yeah, class. Yeah.
You would see it more in the 80s. Like,
Mhm. It's classism.
you see it a little bit, not much, but you would always see, like, even the Back to the Future movies. You always got the feeling that McFly, he was middle class, but there were other people who, the bullying type stuff.
Right.
which is universal in many ways, but
Yeah, the Donald Trump Biff
or
was
Biff.
obviously the rich kid.
Oh, he's Biff. He's Biff.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is Biff for sure. But there are other things, and unfortunately, I feel because I watch a lot. I watch a lot of movies. That's my thing. I love movies. But you do see how the rich guys went from being the bad guy to the good guy. You
Right.
also see the government going from being sort of suspect
Right.
to you have to trust them,
Right.
right? And some of the best stories are usually the ones you
Like,
just trust everything.
right. Like X-Files, a TV
Uh,
show.
they
Not the movie,
live.
the TV show. It's like,
They live is a fantastic,
oh, They Live. Yeah. That's a great
you
one.
know, but there's a deep critique, and we're not allowed to critique the society we live
Mhm.
in.
Video Drum as well. I don't know if
Hmm.
you remember that one. That was a,
Yep, that's an old one, Cronenberg.
yeah, Cronenberg. And then you had, what was it? There was a comic book that they were trying to make into a movie when they finally made it into a movie. What was it called? It's not called The Last Days. What was it called? Was it 1999? The book comic came out in the 80s. It was an indie comic. It says, and they always had this tagline, uh, bound to be a motion picture or something like that. Like, this is going to be a movie. It was like, I
Oh
guess,
wow,
a way of their advertising. Like, hey, this comic's going to be a film. You should buy it.
wow.
It was total bullshit. But then there was a movie that came out years later with the exact same title of that comic book. But I don't know if it was affiliated in any way because the story was totally different, But but it was the same title.
Right.
And
Yeah, I mean, there's ways of telling, but the thing is, it just comes down to money.
right,
Like, for example, making Superman black. I don't care one way or the other. It's a fictional character.
yeah, who
But
cares? But
the
yeah,
reality is they want to do that because there's another thing that many of us who are fans of all this stuff or
right,
creators
right,
don't want to talk about because it's uncomfortable. IP extension.
right,
They're not doing it because some dude back who, said years ago, black faces don't sell movies. They're thinking, holy shit, Superman's going to expire quickly. What do we do?
make them black.
Make him
Yeah,
black. New Superman. We're good. Okay, we'll get another 75 years from this.
right, exactly. It's
Um,
totally ridiculous.
it's totally ridiculous, but it's funny because we're
And there is a black suit. There's many black Supermen in the comics in different worlds, but they don't even want to do that. They want to make him Clark Kent. It's like, but he's not Clark Kent in the comics.
yeah,
But
there's a
it's
whole
all because of copyright and trademark. You're right.
yeah, yeah, and that's the part that and it's funny because we've always talked about this for all the years that we've known each other, right? Copyright and
Yeah,
trademark. And this is the thing that fans don't want to talk about. So they could say it's woke.
yeah, yeah.
And the bean counter's like, yeah, keep thinking it's woke. They're like, I'm still getting this IP extended. But
Right.
it's
And they're like, who
yeah,
cares?
exactly. They don't care.
They don't
It's
care.
it's about the money.
It's
And
about
then we all lose out
yeah.
because new things should be coming about now. I mean, Superman came out when my mom was a little girl.
Right.
I mean, my mom's passed away, and about oh geez, next year she would have been 100.
Did you ever see this one, Strange Days? That was Strange Days was the movie. It came out in '95. I thought it was
Oh, I remember. Yeah, barely. I
it was
remember
about
watching it.
2000. It's another one of these Doom movies. But what's funny is that if you look up the Strange Days comic, it's like it's like
From the 80s.
from the '80s. Yeah, days
Wow.
on the cover, it was a cool comic. This is it. It's like it looks actually much sure to be a major motion picture.
Oh wow.
Eclipse could put that out. So Milligan and McCarthy. That's
Yeah, getting
I was like, oh, that's I always thought that was pretty funny. Like that they had that as a title on the that's a good way to sell it. And then there's a movie, but it has nothing to do with that.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny because it's just so cutthroat. I had one Super Corporate Heroes. It's now past due. When I had
Have you trademarked it since Marvel and DC lost their?
Nah, I didn't bother. I've changed the name anyway. But I had someone who was interested, a producer, son,
Mhm.
particular producer of one of the Batman movies, who was interested in it. But all I needed was to have it carried through Diamond.
Mm.
Couldn't get Diamond to do it.
No, because they do everything in their power to screw us. You know.
So literally, I could have possibly have had this sold as a movie,
Right.
and I got screwed over because they wouldn't carry me. So there's no tears shed for them seeing them go.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that man. I did a lot of shit to cause people to get upset. Like this was one of them. And the thing is, people don't know the reference to this. This was a reference to a Rolling Stone cover. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I got. Oh, they're like, how could you do that? Showing his bulge. And then I did another one where they were upset. It was a pinup I did
Right.
of
It's not this one, right?
it was Miss Titanium and Olympia, the two superheroes in it,
Right.
at a beach, but they're muscular. And I remember when I was on DeviantArt, I haven't gone there in decades or years, and someone was really upset with me saying, "Hey, I usually like your art. I like the way you draw women, but these muscular women, they were upset about it."
But
I was thinking, they're
meanwhile, Bart
super.
Sears drew muscular women like Superwoman and Wonder Woman and all these other characters, and they looked even like transgenders the way he drew them. But people loved his art, you know.
Right, but I'm thinking if these are superheroes and they've got muscles,
Right? They'd be like bodybuilders.
they'd be like bodybuilders. It's not that. And the thing is, a lot of us artists tend to draw what we're attracted to. And I
Mhm.
thought, well, you know what? Being an artist isn't always about drawing what you're attracted to. There are people who are not that attractive to my eye. Maybe they're attracted to someone else, but they're
Right.
still people that exist, right?
Right.
So I was just like, oh man. And do you remember that period where everybody was piling on anyone who drew women?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Mila Manera scandal with
Right.
the Spider Woman,
Mhm.
because he drew her and you could see her crotch.
Mm.
Do you remember that?
You
She was
don't.
on the rooftop and,
It's like this.
it's fucking Mila Manera, right?
Right.
It's like, one, it's not his fault. He got hired by Marvel to draw this cover.
Is that the Spider Woman one?
The Spider Woman one.
Yes.
People
Yes.
lost their
Yes. Yes. Yes.
shit. I don't even know if you could see her crotch, but it was in such a way that
It
it's
was. It was. Yeah. It was basically a porn pose.
but that's what
But
he does.
everyone's imitating it now. Everyone's imitating it. Yeah.
And back then there were people who were like canceling other people over this shit.
Yeah. And a lot of
You
people have
know,
imitated it since, you know.
right? And but I was at the time thinking, like, have we solved all the problems that we have that we're going after guys trying?
Right.
Yeah, that's the one, which actually seems pretty conservative now that I
Right.
think of it.
I mean,
Uh,
there's other people doing it.
oh, I remember because her butt cheeks were separated or something. I don't know.
A
Whatever.
lot of people are imitating it now. So, you know, you get it became a classic pose. But, you know, that's Catwoman's been drawn that like that a million times and nobody says anything, right?
Well, they were saying how sexist he was. Here's one thing that kills me. The character itself is sexist.
Right.
It's a woman that uses pheromones to control men.
Right.
That is like the biggest. I mean, I don't care what pose she's in. That's like what every sexist bastard has said about, oh, she
Right.
controlled me, or she's controlling. I always found that. And there was a time that I was even getting policed on Facebook by people. There's one
Right.
guy in particular was like, how I was drawing women, and my style's very up, and I was just like, I think I pretty much told him to fuck off. I don't know. But then it shifted to this current version of policing, which was, the transgender stuff, which I'm cool with. Like, dude, I really don't care one way or the other. Didn't affect me because I don't really
Right.
talk one way about it. I'm more worried about, food, electricity,
Right.
and racial issues, which affect all the other things, right? So I don't know. We got here through, at this point with Trump, I feel, by not fighting the proper things.
Right.
You know, when you're worrying about, and Milo Manero had to come out and say, with all the fucking problems you guys have in the States with, and he literally said racism, shootings, and all this, you're worried about a cartoon,
Right, exactly.
you know? And he's
Yeah.
the porn guy. I love Milo Manero, but I know what he draws.
Right, right.
That's what he does. And
Hey,
the
see,
editor,
that's what he's known for, right?
that hired him, which I think was Joe Quesada, he should have gotten the heat, not Milo.
Right. He's
Because
the guy. But they attack the
exactly, he
artist.
hired him.
Right.
So anyway.
Well, it's just like they always go after the immigrant and not the company that's actually hiring them.
Exactly.
They're not finding them. They're not arresting the work. They're not arresting the corporations that are hiring them. They're
No CEOs are getting
right.
arrested.
No CEOs are getting fined or anything or arrested.
Yep. Totally agree. Sorry, I went off on the memory lane rant.
No, it's fine.
So,
But I think we're hitting our 2-hour mark here, and
yep. I gotta go soon.
46 minutes. Yeah. So, what time is it over there?
It's 7:43.
Oh, okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
So, you enjoy the rest of your evening. And,
you too.
Thanks for everyone for tuning in. This is Warren Comics. Another episode is
in the can.
In the can. Yeah, we got our little Warren Comics thing. We're nearing. We should do something special for episode 10.
This is episode 9.
This is 8.
8. Okay, sorry, my bad.
8. So we should do something soon. It's coming up. Well, we're not that far away. We're not that far away. So here we go. Just signing off.
Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running frantically, running from their fears, running with their tears.